Happy wife, happy kids, happy life, right? So, I've got something for you in order to a hack of having a happy life. But first, make sure to like and subscribe down below, and I will share it with you. So, Jim Squares here, bringing you some solutions that I implemented in my life that have been successful for me. So, are your kids unmotivated? They only want to watch TV? And a lot of this I found starts at nighttime. So, this is what I do to try to implement a motivation into them and try to at least plant the seeds, because that's what we're here to do, right? Is we're here to plant those seeds in them and hopefully they grow. Now they won't grow right away. We just need to keep planting, and overseed and oversaturate, and then it's like a garden. It's like you throw a bunch of seeds in there and you hope it grows, but then you got to keep. You can't just throw them in there and just leave it once. It's like you got to keep tending it, and so that's what I try to do. That's how I look at this. So this is what my routine that I'll start at the nighttime. So, but what I do is I set it up. I kind of stack things together, right? So one is reading a motivating book. So I expose them to ideas and making their life better. So like here, I'll show you a book. Here's my book, The Emperor's Handbook. So in here, you can see like I've commented on highlighted things, underlined, and what I try to do is I walk through a different book like this all the time for them. And when I walk through the book is I pick out one verse and I'll just read one tiny verse and I'll say, hey, what does this mean to you? What do you think? How do you do this? How do you use this in your life? And I just go real quick. I don't spend more than 5 minutes on it, but we talk it through and I keep kind of driving it into them. So I let them get through that way. And that's one way it kind of indoctrinates in them, and it gets them thinking about it. Say, hey, how do I use this? What does this mean? What does it mean to save money? Why do I do that? And what does it get me? It gives me options. And so that's where we talk through things like that. And then I read a book that they choose. And this exposes them to reading, getting skill of learning, and to whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It's comics. We do Hulk comics, Fantastic Four, anything we got sitting around. I have a bunch of old, huge comic books. They're actually pretty cool. And I just had them from my childhood. And I have a bunch of just normal comics too. And we've been walking through reading those. So that's been fun. And then the next thing we do after reading is we pray. And then in there, you just need to make sure you ask for guidance to be watched over. This creates a sense of security for them. It creates a stable environment for them. And then I also always go to say, hey, what are 3 things that you're grateful for today? This puts them in a positive mindset. No matter how bad things went, there's always something good. And I might even remind them. Usually I try to make them come up with it. But there are times when it's like, hey, remember that meal? Didn't you really like that Mom made? Or, hey, weren't you happy about your Taekwondo testing? Or whatever it is. Sometimes they can only come up with one thing, and that's okay. And then I might prod them a little bit and say, hey, did you have a house over your head? Was it warm? Do you like your shirt? Do you like your clothes? Whatever it is. And I don't let them do the same thing over and over. It has to be something different. Unless it's truly, let's say it's a new video game and they beat a level. And then the next day they beat another level and it's exciting to them, then I'm okay with it. Because it is new. Because that is something new that they're coming up with. And it is their most exciting thing. And it's alright. But I always try to make sure they're coming up with something new. And then the next part is I sing to them. So the consistent sounds allow them to relax. If you're not into singing, just play a CD or a DVD or some music on your phone, something relaxing, soothing, classical music. What's chant maybe? Remember that old chant CD way back? If you look up Gregorian chant, that's what it is. Check that out. That's a good relaxing thing. They might not like it. That's okay. You tried something. Whatever it is you want them to associate a sounds or a certain series of sounds with going to bed. It's time to go to sleep. When I hear these sounds, I go to sleep. And that's what you want to do. Is you want to build these 3 things in there. So now what you've done at night is you created a bookend, on how to you planted those seeds. So when they go to sleep, now they're relaxed. They have a sense of security. They have motivation. And they're also thinking about how happy they are. All those things will marinate in their head when they're sleeping, and then they'll wake up, and that will be built into them. So it will drive behavior change, and it will just be good for them in the general sense. So I highly recommend doing that. So remember, it all starts at nighttime to make their days better. And then usually I find that they get more motivated, and there's times when they start to do things. My son took apart a computer. My daughter started just playing lessons for music lessons and reading music. and another of my daughters is starting to learn a different language. They're just picking these things up. Now, it's not always going to be 100% all the time. No, by any means. But they're signs of it, like poking everywhere. And it's like, oh, that's really cool to see how that works. So, to continue learning, I recommend checking out my video on what schools aren't teaching kids. So that's something that's definitely important that we should really all be focusing on and getting better. So especially with some of the lack of leadership that's around. So it's up to us to just to drive good behavior in our families and make sure they're set up for success. Because there's definitely a lot of areas outside of us that just want what's theirs or just want to get their pie bigger and don't want what's better for all of us. So in the meantime, keep growing together. Make sure to share this with others, like and subscribe, and we'll keep talking. Take care. Later.